Fnatic coming in, showing towards the YoungBuck, we don't want to deal with this. And they're the team actually who talks so many times about how hard it is to deal with Trundle, because you can't really build full tank. He's just going to take some of your stats and it's not going to work. And now finally it actually banned out.
And I believe that's the 51st ban now for Kassadin throughout the LCS. He really is not being let through, and one team you do not let Kassadin through, it is going to be Fnatic for Peke. So, first pick, what will it be for the jungle? Will it be the top? Will it be Peke maybe? You know, they threw out that Ziggs ban so early on last week and it was a mistake.
But generally we have so many things open, like Rekkles as well. Peke loves to play it. We have sOAZ on it. There's stuff like Lulu, who's been a very popular pick. We have obviously
Thresh is what I was about to think
exactly. YellOwStaR now, he's on a support where he can make plays and he can set up things for the team. He can also save them if it should be in a situation where they need his lantern. And he's been very good on this, and I'm actually very keen. I actually really like the fact that first pick and shows you YellOwStaR, we trust in you.
Thresh comes out, everybody's seen that one combo, but you know, when he does land the combos, they work well. As it is, we're waiting to see what the Wolves go with. Will it be YoungBuck on Renekton? It seems they're amazing, almost certainly once that Lee Sin, locking it straight in.
And this is so standard Copenhagen Wolves. When Elise is gone, amazing, he jumps onto Lee Sin. And he has the same kind of routine every single game. He focuses so much on early ganks. He want to get the lanes rolling. And again, Lee Sin, Elise, these kind of junglers are perfect for it. So the fact he locks it in is very standard. And with the Renekton, they want to have YoungBuck dominating the top lane. If he goes against sOAZ, they want him to be able to shut down sOAZ more or less.
Well, Amazing does have that high kill participation, but you say early ganks, he doesn't often come out of that jungle till well into level 6. We'll see how that works out for them. We do see two lock-ins quick from Fnatic there. It is going to be the Pantheon and the Lulu for Fnatic.
So we have Lulu. Obviously, we already have a support pick, so it will be either in the mid lane or potentially sending a top lane. We don't know what sOAZ have been working on. Pantheon jungle, such a nice pick against the Lee Sin, because you have the early aggression, you're able to counter gank so well with your Grand Skyfall, and again, it shows to me Fnatic, they want to go in here as well. They want to win the early game against Copenhagen Wolves and make sure they're not going in for this very long game, which Copenhagen Wolves love to play.
Well, while the Wolves are deliberating over what they're going to choose, the fact that Fnatic did ban out that Trundle, Renekton was first picked in there. What is sOAZ planning on playing in this top lane?
That is the thing. I mean, Shyvana works alright against Renekton. You're a bit pressured in the start, but once you get the Sunfire and once you...
The Blaze of the Rune King.
The Blaze of the Rune King, you know, boom, boom, boom. Then you actually start beating him in the 1v1. You might even see something like an Aurelia or Kennen coming out of sOAZ, which can do fairly well. I wouldn't pick Aurelia into Renekton, but Kennen at least can do fairly well. So there are some options for him, but obviously Renekton will have control of the lane early on.
Well, Forgiven did lock in the Caitlyn, which is interesting with Lucian available. Was Forgiven's go-to champion, but it seems he's gone back to his second best champion, which is the Caitlyn. Wow, Syndra getting locked in.
So this means we have Lulu in the top lane. Or we have Syndra top lane on sOAZ. You never know with these people, but... So the lineup from Fnatic at the moment. Syndra, she's such a lane bully. You have so much kill potential. At level 6, you have so much burst damage. Especially at 6, he needs to bring barrier, or he's just gonna get blown up at level 6 by Syndra. But just imagine the gank they can do. Pantheon jumping in, and then you have Syndra there. There's nothing you can do to survive that unless you have your flash available. So Fnatic, they really want to go for this early dominance.
We'll see if it works out for them. I'm interested to see which one it's going to be, whether it's going to be that Lulu in top lane. Which one would work best against, say, either the Ziggs or the Renekton?
I would definitely do Lulu top at this point and just focus on shoving out the lane and make sure every time Renekton goes to you, you Whimsy him or you shield yourself, and then you avoid taking too much damage. And you just focus on hitting him in the face every time he moves in towards you and just push the lane all the time.
Nullify that dominance every time he comes in. Leona may well be the support. We'll see whether Unlimited goes for that one. Unlimited himself has got some pretty harsh death stats. He is pretty high in terms of most deaths. Leona is going to be one of those champions that will be piling in.
And this is such a standard Copenhagen Wolves lineup. You have the strong top laner who's going to go tanky. YoungBuck is going to have a lot of presence in the team fight. You have the very aggressive jungler on Amazing, and then you have the wave clear, and you have, you know, the siege potential with Caitlyn, with Ziggs, and then obviously you have Leona. If someone drops low, you need some hard engage. This is what they learned. They've been playing Karma a lot in the past, and they always like engage. Now they're picking up Leona, so they have more or less everything. And if Copenhagen Wolves can manage to survive the lanes versus this very strong Fnatic lineup and go into the mid game, they can really take control, poke away, and then sieging down turrets.
It's definitely going to be an interesting game with the Syndra being in the mid, Lulu in the top. Fnatic pulling out the double AP. It has yet to work for them so far in the LCS. We'll see how it develops against the Copenhagen Wolves. It's a ballsy play, that's for sure.
It is, and I'm actually really, the Lulu pick itself, I really want to see how he builds it. Is he going to go full AP, or is he going to go something like a tech speed, auto attack based Lulu, or how is sOAZ planning on building this? And how much can he actually give to team fights? Is the whole combo idea that Pantheon jumps in, he ults them, and boom, they just blow everyone up.
Everybody goes crazy. Let's check out you guys at home, what you've predicted on LOLesports.com. According to the votes, 75% of you have kept the faith with Fnatic, so you're really wanting them to win.
Again, it is so hard to predict the Fnatic games because everyone is like, it's just a matter of time before they pick up the win they need and then they can start get rolling again. Copenhagen Wolves have been looking shaky. I will say it is in favor of Fnatic, but not by too much.
Well, I mean, let's not forget, this is a team that finished 3rd in the World Championships. Got knocked out in the semi-finals by Royal Club, of course. There has been a AD carry change, Pushu in, out, Rekkles in. Rekkles, the phenom as it was when he came into the season. We'll see how it develops. He did start off with an incredible league record breaking KDA. I mean, him and YellOwStaR were just unstoppable in the first 6 games. They didn't even die for the first 5 games, so they had a fantastic start to the season. We'll see how it works out, because it is Fnatic starting out as the blue team up against the Copenhagen Wolves as the red team, and the double AP strat. Will it work out this time around for Fnatic?
And sOAZ is doing the same thing as he did on Gragas when he played the top lane. He's starting with 50 AP. He has Doran's Ring and his like AP runes. So he's going to have so much focus on early harass onto Renekton. And now he might set something up here.
Looks like it's going to be a 4-man invade. Amazing's around there. YellOwStaR not going to throw out the hook. Instead, he's just going to force Amazing away. This is just merely bullying out for ward placement, or whether it's going to be the full red buff invade. All 5 members now there, which does mean, of course, Copenhagen Wolves had that chance to get in and sneak around, but of course the wards not available unless they bought them, and nobody did, which means none of those are available just yet. Fnatic are sticking together. They look like they want to create some sort of trouble.
Yeah, and I think actually if they weren't spotted out beforehand, they would have moved in and just waited at the red buff, and then maybe either taking it away or trying to get a kill onto Amazing early on. If you can shut him down so early, the rest of Copenhagen Wolves going to have a very hard time.
Yeah, it does seem that Fnatic have gone back to standard lanes, so no invades after all. Just a preemptive excitement, and then that just got stopped out by one single spot in what has it. YellOwStaR and Rekkles, they want to cause themselves some problems. I think this is just a ward placement though, on towards that blue buff.
And notice how Forgiven is moving. It looks like he wants to go top lane. They want a lane swap onto Lulu. We talked about it in pre-game how Copenhagen Wolves love to lane swap. Let's see if Fnatic actually figures it out and try to counter it.
Well, at the moment, it is going to be 4 members helping out the red buff start. You can see YoungBuck is going to stick around here and making sure they get this red, that's for sure. There's going to be some early leveling for someone. YoungBuck is going to separate. Amazing does take it. And that will be steady as he goes. sOAZ helping out Cyanide on the blue buff as well, which does mean everything is standard, and they will get spotted out by the wards.
So sOAZ should actually have a fairly easy time farming. He has his passive, which gives him more damage on his auto attack, so he should be able to last it fairly easy. He's very open for dives though, because he's very squishy. He only has his shield to help him, and he's like full AP based at the moment, so he's very, very easy to take down from Copenhagen Wolves.
Yeah, and of course the Copenhagen Wolves, they want to try and freeze this lane as much as possible. sOAZ is well aware of that fact, starting out with that Doran's Ring. Look at YellOwStaR though, he's coming around to take a look. It's going to be a blue invade here, a late blue invade for Cyanide and YellOwStaR.
And this is so smart by Fnatic. Again, Copenhagen Wolves like to spot them out, but they're not in a position to fight for this one because there's more members from Fnatic if they decide to stay.
Well, they know that YoungBuck, he's just trying to stay and delay this bottom lane engagement as long as he can, because he wants to hit level 2 before he comes into lane. Instead, this is drawing the entire team in towards it. We do see xPeke coming in. xPeke taking a hell of a lot of damage from cowTard, but cowTard's got no mana. But the basic attacks could be enough. Can they finish it through? No, they can't. Instead, it's going to be Fnatic continuing to steal away the blue buff.
Okay, so Fnatic got it here. xPeke, he had to use his flash to get away. Luckily for him, 6 was This simply means, though, for Fnatic's side, it was such a smart move, because they predicted that Copenhagen Wolves would take a long route and clear all the camps around. So Cyanide, he could run from his own blue buff. Oh, actually going on to Amazing.
He's going to keep the stun on towards him, but xPeke had nothing to follow it up. He's like, I need some balls here. I need to throw them back at him, but instead didn't have it available. xPeke taking a lot of early burst damage there from cowTard. I think he realizes he's not going to have it quite so easy in lane.
No, he's gonna be taking a lot of harass from 6, and he needs his level 6 point before he can really become this threat and more or less one-shot the 6 if he's being caught out of position. Meanwhile, though, Copenhagen Wolves putting a lot of pressure on this top third. Remember, there's no blue buff on Amazing, so he's slightly behind.
Well, he's going to keep them at bay, but that is half the turret damage going down already. Meanwhile, down the bottom, it took them a long time to get down there, to be honest, so they haven't really put any pressure on this turret at all.
No, but again, they get their own jungler ahead, and this means now Cyanide, if he's catching out Amazing in some kind of fight, he will be stronger. And that is a good thing for Fnatic. They want to shut down Amazing as much as possible. Now Cyanide actually closing in. He's spotted out by a ward though. Will YoungBuck react?
Well, I'm not too sure if he's going to be able to get away from this one. Slices across Cyanide. That means he's going to have the dice to get away if he needs to. Instead, he's got YoungBuck to come in and safeguard and help out. They will just step away.
So YoungBuck hit the level 2 mark. It's where, as long as they're level 1, you can easily dive them. But level 2, level 3 becomes harder and harder. So Fnatic, they want to take the chance, and very wisely, because Amazing was actually moving there. Had they gone for the dive, he would be able to join in and maybe pick up a kill for Copenhagen Wolves.
Zinx is backing off. We already see Peke. He's moving back to get himself that second Doran's ring. Give himself a mana and health bot along with that ward as well. But this top turret is taking a pounding from the Copenhagen Wolves.
Yeah, there isn't much sOAZ can actually do because he doesn't have enough skills in his Q yet to actually wave play the entire wave, so he more or less just have to wait for everything to hit the turret and try and pick up the CS he can. Simply meant Copenhagen Wolves, they are so good at lane swapping. Every single time they get something from it. This time around, they took the turret very early. Amazing is down in the bot lane, defending the turret there. If he can hold it long enough for this bot lane in the top to recall and come down, they can actually keep the turret and not even lose Dragon for it.
And you can see, because Amazing's been in this lane, he's soaking up that experience. He's actually was ahead of Cyanide. Cyanide just hit level 4, but he was ahead of Cyanide in levels. So despite the fact he's not been there, he is actually ahead in CS, ahead in levels, because he's just been helping out this bottom lane. So that's one turret down for Fnatic already, and they've not really put the pressure on the bottom.
No, the only downside for Copenhagen Wolves is the fact that YoungBuck is also sharing XP, so he's not going to get the solo lane ones like Lulu in the top lane. They might not think that Lulu is going to be an issue, so they don't really care at the moment. They just want to defend this turret. But it seems Copenhagen Wolves, they want to shove this all the way out before they even think about recalling.
Yeah, they're just basically causing so many problems for sOAZ that he can't go back, he can't buy, he hasn't been able to get the CS. And Copenhagen Wolves really putting the pressure on. As you mentioned, this is the 6th game running that Copenhagen Wolves have done this. Every single one of those games on 4.1.
Yep, that's the thing. We didn't actually think people keep doing lane swaps, but Copenhagen Wolves, they just constantly do it. It's because as a team, they're so good at it. They've seen every single scenario, and Peke, he's having some issues here in the mid lane.
And of course, cowTard, well, he's about to hit level 6. He's not too far off it, so Peke has to really be careful. But then again, roles reverse as well. See cowTard taking some damage as well. They are really going to go at it. There's level 6 for cowTard. Mega Inferno Bomb now available. Peke about to hit level 6 as well, but it's going to be cowTard pushing the wave on him, and they will step off.
And notice how the bot lane, or the top lane we could say for Copenhagen Wolves, are staying in the lane. They keep pushing it down. They want to go for this next turret. Oh, nice bomb coming in here, stopping the push. They want to defend this turret for everything in the world.
Getting the stun on YellOwStaR as well. It's going to take 2 tower hits from this one, and that's some good damage trade. Only Amazing had been there a little bit sooner. They could have maybe got the damage.
Meanwhile, we see Cyanide, he's gone up to the top lane now. He wants to defend the turret as well. So we more or less have this standoff between the bot lanes trying to push in on the jungler and the top laner. So far, it looks good for Copenhagen Wolves because they've actually managed to shove up the lane now with the help from cowTard as well.
So yet both junglers about to hit level 6, yet to see any involvement. No surprise from Cyanide there, but Amazing, other than having to basically run defensive duty. Cyanide just off at the side here, considering whether to get involved in this one, but Peke, he's making sure that wave is pushed right in. Of course, cowTard using that Mega Inferno Bomb down the bottom is going to miss out some CS there, and then Peke is going to come across and take the blue.
And Peke, he is level 6 now, so we need to see how much he can actually... Oh, Cyanide actually took the blue buff for himself. Peke, apparently he didn't need it.
Apparently not, which surprises me for a Syndra, honestly. Maybe they just felt because where they saw the presence of Unlimited and maybe the movements of Copenhagen Wolves, they just thought, you're going to have to secure it.
Yeah, they might have been scared because Unlimited actually went out of vision for Fnatic side, so they didn't know if he was coming in trying to steal it or stop Cyanide from doing it. So they just played it safe, gave it to Pantheon. This means he's going to hit level 6 a bit earlier, and then we can see some real action going on. And we really have to pay attention to Peke in the mid lane with his level 6. Now this bot lane turret should go down.
Will go down this time around. Rekkles just a couple more shots. He's trying to delay it as long as possible, but it will pick it up. In terms of CS between them, you can look at across the lanes. It's actually fairly even, but the difference is sOAZ, he's actually miles ahead of YoungBuck now.
And that's because he's been standing from range alone, more or less just constantly wave clearing every time the minions came into his turret. YoungBuck, he had to try and share the CS with Amazing, and he's a melee champion, so it's harder for him to get all the CS.
Well, you do see the blue buff for cowTard going to be given across. Let's check out whether it will be. It should be taken. Yes, it will. We did have Peke maneuvering across there. He's going to cause problems for cowTard stepping back into lane instead. He's just going to go back to keep that wave going. sOAZ is continuing to push a little bit on that top lane. See how scared he is up against YoungBuck this time around. The
thing is, he just want to shot this all the way out so he can recall. He's going to have a lot of gold at the moment. He hasn't shot yet, so he needs this one shot all the way out so YoungBuck can freeze it, and he's more or less going to reset at the turret, and then he can return to lane after shopping and just have a fairly normal lane.
Peke sidesteps the bouncing bomb, and it is the bottom lanes up against each other. Ace in the hole being used instantly on towards YellOwStaR. YellOwStaR still only at level 5, by the way, as is Unlimited. Rekkles and Forgiven already hit level 6. Culling is available. Here comes the man drop straight away. But Amazing is there, and they're going to go straight on towards YellOwStaR. That's going to be a solar flare and a kill instantly. But it was Rekkles getting on towards Amazing as well, so quickly traded back and forward. A jungler for a support.
And both junglers, they think alike. Amazing, he sneaked all the way down here. He was completely unnoticed. And then Cyanide, he wanted to set up the gank. They didn't know Lee Sin was there, but due to the hook, they found him, pulled him in, and they actually got quite some damage on it and managed to trade 1-for-1. Very nice play by Rekkles. Aggressive, and he wanted this kill.
Yeah, we saw Peke and cowTard also heading down that river. You can see Peke putting some damage back on towards cowTard, really only landing the stun, so not really doing a great deal of damage just yet. We'll have just 1 point in that stun. Actually, he's got 2 now, I just seen down the bottom there, which is, of course, is E. Which I'll tell you what, I can't even remember what the name of it is. Where's Trevor when you need him?
Where's Trevor when we need him? Or someone who really loves to play Syndra, like Björksen, who probably knows as well.
You don't know them. Is that what you're saying?
I'll admit that.
You'll admit that. At the moment, it is the Copenhagen Wolves with the slightest of gold leads, and they have actually made the move for the Dragon. You can see they're setting up for this one. Fnatic really are not in a great position to respond to this.
They do have vision though. The issue for them is the fact that Renekton is also coming all the way down from top lane, so they won't be able to fight this one. They just have to try and steal with Cyanide and land him in out.
Not going to get it, but they have left sOAZ alone on that top turret, of course. He's going to continue pushing in, but first objective, again, going to the Copenhagen Wolves. This time the Dragon, they got the first turret of the game, so they are doing well in the early lane phases.
And it was simply too easy for Copenhagen Wolves to pick this one up. They more or less had to do nothing else than just notice that Fnatic wasn't in a position, just went in and started it, and due to Fnatic or due to sOAZ staying top lane and due to Peke being all the way in mid lane, they couldn't even try to fight for it.
Scatter the week, by the way. Just checking out for you. So you know, YoungBuck taking some pressure in this top lane. He's just going to have to step away. Went with that Spirit Visage build early on, so he's going to try and complete that one, of course. sOAZ, though, look at that. Triple Doran's Ring. And it's the Codex, that's the one. I was going to say Amptome, but it's the next one out.
So sOAZ, he's more or less building purely for lane dominance. He just wants his early game power with triple Dawn's Ring and just constantly shove in the wave. YoungBuck should never be able to get to him unless he's joined in by Amazing.
Well, Amazing will be joining him. He's going to come around there. He has got the wild growth available and just puts that little pixie on him, speeds himself up. No problems there. cowTard going to get dived on the mid lane here. He's going to get caught out, but an instant explosive pack. So well timed by cowTard.
That was such a nice play. He simply puts it down as soon as Cyanide lands, activates it, and both get knocked away. Nice play by cowTard, and so far he's doing fairly well. He has the early magic resist, and he's just focusing on farming and pushing out his lane constantly.
That was ballsy play as well, because Peke, if it had just been that little bit closer, could have used Scatter the Weak and catch it on him and just stun him out, but instead wasn't quite close enough. It's going to be Peke and Cyanide continue to push this mid lane. Of course, cowTard is just going to have to throw out those mines, throw out the bombs. Coming in from the bot line, it's going to be Unlimited. He's going to catch on towards it. Peke goes down. They could get a second. Solar Flare on towards Cyanide. Zenith Blade comes in. He's going to lock him up with that Shield of Daybreak. cowTard missing the bomb, but it doesn't matter. He gets the double kill nonetheless. Fantastic stuff from Copenhagen Wolves.
And that was such a sloppy play by Peke. He got caught by pretty much everything. Amazing landed his Q, and he just stayed there. Unlimited didn't even do anything to Peke. It was just the two members, cowTard and Amazing, taking him down alone without any trouble.
And of course that does mean it's cowTard getting the kills. Double kill for that mid laner starts to mean trouble. Themes and Holy Grail will be built up first for him, and it has been completed by Peke. And that's going to push him into the next item build. sOAZ, though, he's putting a lot of pressure on this top turret. He should take you down maybe in this wave.
And there's nothing YoungBuck can do because he lost so much XP. First from the lane swap because he shared a lot of the XP together with Amazing. And then also when he moved down for Dragon, sOAZ just stayed top and kept pushing in, So he can't even touch him because he's so far behind, both in CS and also in XP.
Well, more annoying for him, every time he tries to get close, he gets Glitterland, so he just gets pushed away as well. Mega Inferno Bomb, that's going to wipe out that wave. YellOwStaR simply got one hit on that tower. and will back off.
And that's actually the whole sOAZ or Lulu thing, and the way the top lane is being played now is how Fnatic needs to play the team fights. They need to be able to kite Copenhagen Wolves all the time, because look at all the disengage they have. They have Lulu with the slow, they have the stun from Syndra, they have the dash in from Lucian, and then calling for shooting it backwards, and then you have YellOwStaR with Lantern, with Flay, you know. They have so many things on his box, of course, who can stop Copenhagen Wolves from moving towards them, and they can just kite and keep doing damage.
There's a lot of mechanics that are involved as well. The question is, can Fnatic, are they feeling confident enough to do it? Because once again, Peke gets kicked in, singled out, takes a tower hit, and drops to the Ignite. Now YellOwStar's going to be the focus. He gets knocked away by the explosive pack, but instead Cyanide tries to come in. Cyanide now getting locked up as well. Bomb going to rattle past. Copenhagen Wolves safe so far, but sOAZ comes around the side. He's going to get locked up with the Zenith Blade. The bomb will follow through, but sOAZ backs off.
And once again, Peke is the target for Copenhagen Wolves. Every time Amazing lands a Q onto him, he goes for it. Meanwhile, Forgiven, he's just staying in the bot lane, pushing out. He has a very big minion wave, and Rekkles, he's trying to run down and stop this.
Well, he's going to get down there, but that tower is taking a pounding right now. He is 30 CS behind Forgiven as well, and I don't think he wants to get involved in this one. That will be another tower down for the Copenhagen Wolves.
And notice how Forgiven, he wants the tower to kill the last few minions, or at least try to make sure he can deny as much CS as possible onto Rekkles, because everything counts in a matchup like this.
Getting those last hits in, making sure, and actually continuing to keep pushing. He hasn't backed away yet, so despite the fact he really hasn't got any vision down that bottom lane, it's just that single ward there. Has to be careful he doesn't get Cyanide jumping in him. Of course, the ultimate was just used a moment ago in their mid lane, so he's going to know roughly the timer on that.
Yeah, he felt fairly safe because of the fight we had in mid lane. And actually, we have to question with that fight why Peke, why didn't he just flash early when Lee Sin actually jumped onto him? He waited until he got kicked into the turret, then he flashed away, but it was too late because cowTard could finish him off with the last bomb.
At the moment, Peke been a little bit uninspiring on Syndra so far. 0-2 in lane up against cowTard, who's 3-0 right now. Ward's being placed on that blue buff. We'll see whether Peke gets given it this time around, because cowTard is hungry for more.
And notice how Lulu has picked up an early Morello Nomicon, simply for a lot of early game damage. He has some cooldown reduction and some mana regen, and also you have the healing reduction when someone is lower than 40%. So if Renekton should be going in and she gets it on him and he's low, they can take him down. And they're going on Peke.
Solar Flare on Peke, Mega Inferno Bomb comes through. Oh, Amazing just getting knocked to the side. The Ignite. Oh, the red buff I think was the one that finished it off. May have been the lifesteal, I'm not too sure. And that's going to be YellOwStaR walking straight into a bomb as well. The Copenhagen Wolves just keep on pushing.
And just as we talked about in Champ Select, this is the Copenhagen Wolves lineup they love. They're sieging the turret, and then when someone is low, unlimited, he has the long range engage, he just pops it in. Then Peke had no flash, so as soon as he dropped this a little bit low, they went on him and they gotta kill more.
Big danger signs for Fnatic fans here, because the Copenhagen Wolves, we pointed out with the stats yesterday how bad they generally are in the lane phase, but they are coming out of lane phase 4,000 gold ahead of Fnatic, 5-1 in kills, and heading towards their second dragon.
And there's been so much focus for them onto this mid lane, and every time they get something from it. Amazing, he's just been landing the Qs and he starts everything. He's been involved in every single kill from Copenhagen Wolves. This should be another easy dragon for them.
Well, they're pushing in towards the middle turret. Fnatic, they should take this one down. They're going to have the Copenhagen Wolves pushing straight onto the side of them. Which way are they going to go? You can see YoungBuck trying to lock up sOAZ just at the top left of your screen there. He's going to catch on towards him, slices through. Instead, he's going to have the rest of the team joining him just at the bottom of his screen. cowTard comes in, those bombs rattling on through. They're going to catch on towards sOAZ. That pick shield just about doing enough.
And this is the kiting Fnatic can do. Look how hard it was for Copenhagen Wolves to actually get something going. Yes, okay, Unlimited didn't have his ultimate, so they are lacking this very hard engage. But apart from that, there's nothing Copenhagen Wolves can actually do to catch on to these members, unless we see a very nice play from someone like Amazing, where he can kick someone back in. If Fnatic can keep kiting away, even though they're behind, they might still be able to have some very good team fights.
Well, Peke is off on his own at the moment in that top, trying to get some free farm time, get himself back into this game. We see a needlessly large rod coming out from cowTard. The Fiends and Holy Grail will be built up shortly by him. Peke instead had to go for that Amptone.
And notice how Copenhagen Wolves have picked up 4 sweeping lenses. At 18 minutes, they pick up 4 of them. They just want to deny all the vision from Fnatic and make sure they can pressure down pretty much all the lanes, and then deny full vision in the jungle so Fnatic don't know where they can move, and it's going to be so easy for Copenhagen Wolves to set up the fights they want, because they will have all the vision if it works for them.
And meanwhile, of course, we do have YoungBuck in the top. He's got himself some free farming. How much he struggled early on. He's gone for that Hex Drinker as well on Renekton. Of course, he has been up against sOAZ, up against the double AP comp. That makes sense.
And he's gone full MR. Completely full MR. There's no armor on him so far. There's no additional HP except for his very first item and his Door and Shield. So he's going to be very squishy when it comes to Rekkles and the damage he put onto him. But the rest, and Rekkles and Cyanide we should say, the rest of Fnatic though will have a very hard time killing him.
Well, the rest of Copenhagen Wolves are sat around this mid lane. We do see sOAZ chasing on. That's going to be Cyanide jumping in, but they're going to turn it back around. And sOAZ is gone before Cyanide even lands.
And Rekkles is down in the bot lane, so I have no idea why Fnatic actually went for this one, and now Cyanide has to flash away.
Cyanide flashes, but he did get stunned by YoungBuck. I think he should get away from this one. YoungBuck's just going to harass him all the way to the bank, and that means, of course, the mid lane is a little bit exposed as the rest of the Copenhagen Wolves push on this mid inner turret.
So again, it was such an aggressive move, now going even further.
Wow, superb stuff from Amazing there, landing the kick onto xPeke, following straight across and on towards YellOwStaR, just punting him back in towards the team. The Copenhagen Wolves are plowing through Fnatic's mid lane.
And this again, this is the combo what they can do. They can just constantly, if they win early game, shove down turrets, shove down the lanes all the time and put so much pressure on the Fnatic. And because they're so far ahead, they can just dive them.
They're just rotating around towards the mid, to the top inner turret as well. They are just taking everything they want from the Fnatic's half of the map. They are now 5-2 up in turrets, and that's a 7,000 gold lead. Just shy of 20 minutes into this game, they are dominating.
And honestly, the last play from Fnatic was such a desperate move. They have no vision of most of the members from Copenhagen Wolves, and yet they just speeded up with sOAZ in, tried to land the ultimate from Cyanide and set something up, but nobody else was there, and they just died for it.
You can just look at the difference between Amazing and Cyanide right now. Complete item build difference, but check out this kick.
And notice here how he actually interrupts. Very nice descent play from YellOwStaR, but it doesn't matter because Amazing comes in there, he steps guys to the water and he kicks YellOwStaR back. Beautiful play.
LCS big play right there, that's for sure. Cyanide's caught out once again. Explosive pack, that's going to knock him straight in. And cowTard gets himself another kill on the board. 5-0-2 now for his Ziggs.
And this honestly just looks like a team who's more or less falling apart and giving up because they keep trying to make plays, but Copenhagen Wolves, they just punish them every single time. They have the hard engage on Unlimited, and Amazing has been so good on these sims that they can just always pick up the targets they want.
It's going to be the inhibitor turret taking a lot of damage. I don't think they can keep them away from this one. They should take it. sOAZ has got to be careful here. We see xPeke coming from the side there, managing to stun out both YoungBuck and Amazing, but Copenhagen Wolves hit the inhibitor turret and just back off.
And Copenhagen Wolves are in this situation now where they're so far ahead in both team fights and split pushing. It doesn't even matter what they decide to do. Either they can just rush down and try and take this inhib and force Fnatic to team fight them, or they can try and bait out a Baron, or they can just go to every single lane, shove them down and force Fnatic to react to this. So Copenhagen Wolves have every single option open for them.
Just take a look at the vision that the Copenhagen Wolves have now layered across Fnatic's jungle. All the top half, all the bottom half, everything covered off.
And that's the thing you can do when you have double sidestone, because both your support and Lee Sin has it, and also the rest of the members just picked up wards for themselves, and you have the sweeping lenses to deny the vision from Fnatic, so it just looks so dominant for Copenhagen Wolves, and they just need to keep the pressure up now. If they just farm away for 5-10 minutes, they actually give Fnatic a chance to come back in the game, so they need to keep the pressure up.
Rekkles so cautiously showing himself in that bottom lane to pop out and farm out that wave. He's just desperately trying to keep himself safe right now because the Copenhagen Wolves, as you mentioned earlier on, have been slaughtering Fnatic. They've just been jumping around the map. Everything that happens, Amazing is almost always there. He's just one kill off being involved in every single play the Copenhagen Wolves have used.
And that is really the story of the game, because he was the one setting up the kills in the mid lane. They got Copenhagen Wolves ahead, and then from there on they just dominated the map. Now sOAZ moving to this top lane. Can he try something?
You see the Copenhagen Wolves, they are all tracking him. There is Amazing and Unlimited. They're about to face check straight towards that bush. They do see it. They put the sweeping lens down. sOAZ running away. It's going to be a fast little pixie to chase.
He's very hard to catch unless you can get directly onto him. Meanwhile, the rest of Fnatic, or at least some of them, are trying to push the mid turret.
Ace in the hole, explosive satchel. The bomb following through. Oh, Mega Inferno bomb locks him down. YellOwStar's running, but he's got nowhere to hide. That bomb's going to trickle on through. Amazing should finish him off with a kick.
And again, two members from Fnatic decide to push the turret. Two members are just running around on the map doing absolutely nothing, and then one was pushing the top lane. Now Rekkles joined sOAZ on top. They want to try and get this turret.
They're going to try and push on through, but what losses are going to be? Because they got 4 members of the Copenhagen Wolves in their base. What are they doing here, Fnatic? This is desperation plays. Honestly, the Copenhagen Wolves, I think they should keep pushing.
Yeah, they might as well. The mini wave is actually coming in. YoungBuck does go down in top lane, so it means Fnatic can at least take this turret, but they shouldn't be able to get more.
Well, that will be in a turret, so Fnatic starting to keep that pressure on. They did get that kill on YoungBuck. It's small little goals, but look at this. cowTard Unlimited chasing up there. I think everyone may back off in time. Oh no, Rekkles is actually going across. They have no vision in their own jungle though, because they've warded so heavily forward on.
But they want to try now and group up for this mid turret maybe. The rest of Copenhagen Wolves are out of position, and they actually, Amazing is taking the dragon, but the rest, they cannot defend this mid turret if Fnatic can push it up fast.
Well, that will be the dragon being taken down by Amazing. The mid turret is going to go down. Mega Inferno bomb will come in. And look at how much damage it's already doing. Almost a third of the hit points taken off. Amazing may well have gone down a little bit too deep, but Peke's getting caught out, and Limited just mows through Peke like he's not even there.
And Peke, once again, man, he's just getting caught out every single time. Copenhagen Wolves, they just have their eyes on him, and they keep killing him, and it keeps giving them the lead. I mean, extending the lead, and now they can go for this Baron. Will Fnatic try and fight for it? They more or less have to, or the game is gone.
The fact that a support has just taken down your mid laner has got to be big alarm bells. He didn't even use the Ignite either. This will be the Baron, as you say. We do see Fnatic going to try and engage on this one. I'm not too sure whether they're going to be able to help out. Cyanide's going to come in. He wants to get the Smite steal. This is going to be one of the most important Smite steals he can make this season. Will they go 0-7? He comes in. No! It's going to lose it. They will take it themselves. Copenhagen Wolves now give chase on towards YellOwStaR. The Glitter Lance will slow them down enough, but not forgiven. He's going to catch on towards YellOwStaR. Manages to land a couple of shots. The hook is only going to bring him closer to your doom, and that will be YellOwStaR going down 13-2 to the Copenhagen Wolves.
And the fact that Cyanide didn't get the Baron is just this game in a nutshell. Everything is working out for Copenhagen Wolves. Every time they make an engage, they pick up kills, they get towers, now also the Baron, and they're just steamrolling over Fnatic.
Unbelievable what is happening right now. Fnatic, they started the season 7 wins on the trot. We were thinking, could they take Cloud9's record? Could they get that 15 wins on a row without making a loss? But it just turns out that no, they could be setting other records in the LCS, and they are chasing the Copenhagen Wolves record from the spring that you were involved in. That 0-9 record is now a possibility for Fnatic.
Honestly, I think that was a good record because we turned it around and then it was all good. But thank you for reminding me once again.
That's all right. I like to make sure you can remember these things, remember these days that happen. Oh, Peke, you're in trouble again. But it's actually sOAZ he singled out this time around. Wasn't expecting that one. Does manage to get away this time around. Mega Inferno Bomb. Wow, the damage that is starting to do is scary for Fnatic. Those bombs are not going to be able to rattle through. Peke just running and hiding.
And Copenhagen Wolves can just keep this push. They have the mid inhib down already, so the minions are pushing in there. And the rest of Copenhagen Wolves are joining in. They can wait for the ultimates if they want to, and just keep Fnatic here and just constantly apply pressure.
The pressure continuing to flow on through. 5 members with the Baron, all pushing in. The Culling coming out, that will stop this wave for now. Ace in the hole on sOAZ, strips half his hit points off. YellOwStaR keeping any wards at bay, making sure they have no vision. But that wave is coming in once again. This time around, the Culling will not be available.
They will soon be able to dive this one. They're most likely waiting for the ultimate from Amazing before they want to go and try and set something up. But as long as they keep them here, look at the rest of the map, how much the minions are pushing in. There's an insanely big wave in top.
The hook doesn't land, the inhibitor turret going down. Who's going to get focused out? That's going to be the inhib dropping. They're going to continue on through. Solar Flare lands on towards Cyanide, quickly gets pulled out by that lantern from YellOwStaR, but the inhibitor will go down nonetheless.
And this is just so bad for Fnatic. Double inhib is down, the combo is so far behind, they more or less can't teamfight 5v5 just with the combo itself. They were focused more on kiting around or picking up targets. And Copenhagen Wolves, they just have the perfect combo for keep sieging.
Yeah, just waiting for that second inhib to respawn. That gets taken down instantly. sOAZ is going to keep that wave at bay in the top lane, but the Copenhagen Wolves are rotating towards it.
And they're rotating here. The big mini wave
Where's sOAZ going?
They can maybe catch him out.
Where's he off to? I don't know. That little Yordle is making a run for it. cowTard's going to give chase.
He's leading the wave.
What else to chase? Another Yordle. That's what's going to go with you. But it don't care about that one. Instead, they're going to turn back towards the base.
He tried to at least clear the wave up there to make it harder for Copenhagen Wolves to go for this next turret. And they're actually going to back off.
Yeah, he's done a great job. He's cleared most of the wave out. So he's done what was needed. This is a Baron of Copenhagen Wolves, so that's the blue buff taken away. sOAZ is continuing to go. He's still pushing. He's
just going to keep pushing up this wave. For Copenhagen Wolves, they don't care anymore. They're just going to go into base.
Yeah, that's going to follow through. Super minions on the bottom, super minions on the top. Solar Flare on Peke, he's locked up. Ace in the hole comes through. The bouncing bomb rattling in there. And it's another kill for the Copenhagen Wolves. This is not pretty stats for Peke right now. 0-6-0 on Syndra. This one has not worked.
But honestly, he had the option to avoid some of the early dips. He had his flashes early on where he didn't want to use it. He has it this time as well, but he still got caught out and died again.
sOAZ has rejoined the fray, getting back in towards there. It's a man drop coming out for Cyanide, but it's going to have to be the manliest of man drops, and it is going to work out pretty well, but instantly gets kicked out. Cyanide goes down. sOAZ is next. He's going to get focused out. This is Copenhagen Wolves just wrecking Fnatic's day, wrecking their week. They have gone 0-7 in the LCS after an immaculate start. The Copenhagen Wolves get themselves a second win of the week.
Everything Copenhagen Wolves did this game just worked out for them. Every single gank gave kills. Every time they decided to push for something, they got it, and they just punished every single thing Fnatic did.
Fantastic stats for the Wolves as well. Gives their trademark victory. 7-0-6 for cowTard, 5-0-5 for Forgiven, Unlimited 2-0-11. You know, we talked about how much he's died, how bad his KDA has been of recent, but 2-0-11, you can't argue with that.
No, and he was on point with Leona because every time he had a chance to land his ultimate, mainly on Peke, he did, and they got the kills for it. So he was there to do the hard engage, and the rest of Copenhagen Wolves, they just followed up.
And I should point out, Rekkles there on your screen, 2-0-0, the only person to get kills on the entire Fnatic team, the only person not to die on the entire Fnatic team.
But there's honestly nothing you can do in his shoes. In a game like this, where the rest, or pretty much your entire team, is just losing everywhere else than your lane, there's nothing you can do.
Fantastic performance from the Copenhagen Wolves, and you know, they were tweeting out, we saw YoungBuck's tweets before we went live on Thursday, you know, saying how much they'd focused on their mid-game, their rotations, everything that they'd look back at, and it really has worked out for them. They've played well this week. Yeah,
they really played well, and it showed to us that the decision-making, the shot calling, is way more direct, and everyone follows it. So when they say we're going to push mid, boom, everyone goes in there. When Amazing lands the Q and he's saying he's going in, the rest of the team are ready to follow. So it shows they've really worked on it, and it's actually made them look very strong.
So speaking of Amazing, which one of these plays really impressed you? Because I know which one it is for me. It's when he went straight around the back of YellOwStaR.
That was impressive. I will give him that. I would genuinely say everything Amazing did this game was amazing.
Yeah, you think of I guess the first kill on Peke where he landed it and just went straight in. Peke got the double kill for cowTard in the mid.
And then there was the next one where he's standing at Raves and Peke is trying to push the turret and he Qs him, again jumps in, ward jumps and kick Peke back, and like everything he did early game gave a lead to Copenhagen Wolves and they just snowballed it.
So many big plays. We want to know your favorite moments as well. Let us